Welcome to this chair yoga practice. Take a moment to find yourself on a chair, one that's stable and has a more solid base or support versus, sitting on your couch at home. Today's practice will support bone density. It will help to just support an overall sense of feeling empowered, health, well-being. So take a moment and just thank yourself for showing up, for trying out these practices, whether you are trying them out for the first time or you have become a regular practitioner at this point. And it's easy for us to get distracted and get pulled into other things, and to neglect ourselves. So truly thank yourself for taking this time, for devoting this space for you. And to find a nice supported sense of base, we're going to just bring one hand to one thigh, one hand on the inside, one hand on the outside. The hand that's on the inner thigh is going to push down as the hand on the outer thigh will pull out. That helps to set the thigh bone in a nice neutral position. And just do that on both sides. And then once you do that, make sure your feet are nice and stable, pressing down into the ground. If you need to use blocks or books under your feet, so that way your thighs can be parallel with the floor and each other. And then maybe take a moment, bring your hands to your hips and just invite a little bit of a rock of your torso, moving it forward and moving it back. Try to sense where the shoulders can stack right above the hips, the tailbone can lengthen down. And then once you find that vertical upright place, let your hands rest by your side. Take a deep breath in. Bring the shoulders up toward the ears. Exhale, let them roll back and down, sensing the scapula hug in toward the spine. Maybe just try that 2 more times, breathing in and breathing out as you roll the shoulders back and down. Beautiful. And then from this place, let's just bring attention to our head. So sense the chin in line with the notch of the throat, the occipital bone lengthening. Maybe there's an imaginary hand behind you that you're gently pressing the occipital bone back into you. The crown is reaching nice and tall toward the sky. So you sense your feet pressing down. You sense your crown reaching up. You sense length in the side body, the heart open. Take a few moments. Eyes can close or just set your gaze in one spot. Invite in a few nice deep breaths here. Inhaling as you watch the lungs fill with air. Exhaling as you gently squeeze the breath out of the body. Continue to breathe nice and deep. Trusting your own breath here. And as you continue to breathe nice and deep, just allowing this breath to be that gateway into the self. Each time you inhale, you just open yourself up to what is. Each time you exhale, we perhaps let go, shut the door off on that continuous to-do list, things of the past, things of the future. Each time we inhale, we bring ourselves into this present moment. Each time we exhale, a clearing away, an inviting of space. Sensing your feet pressing down, sensing yourself grounded, perhaps even inviting the mantra in. I am grounded. I am safe. I am here. And I belong here. Inviting a sense of connecting to the earth, to the supports that hold you, as you might repeat the words to yourself silently or out loud. I am grounded. I am safe. I am here. I belong here. Sense as you press down energetically, there's a reciprocity of energy moving up the spine, through the crown. You allow these currents of energy to flow up and down and through. On your next exhale, gently draw the chin down toward the chest. Take a few moments, just breathe into the back of the neck. Just be mindful the sensations that are there. Always giving yourself permission to not do anything that doesn't feel right for you. And next time you find yourself inhaling, lifting the head back up nice and tall. Let's inhale, sweep those arms out to the side. Bring them up as high as they're ready to go. Reaching up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Just try that a few more times. Inhale as the arms reach down, reach wide and high. And exhaling as they move towards your heart center. Finding a way to connect with your own breath here as you invite these movements. The next time the palms land back at the heart center, we're going to interweave the fingers, interlock them, reach the heels of the palms away, hug the arm bones in, draw the navel center in, stamp into those feet, breathing in as we reach those arms up and overhead. And as we breathe out, we're just going to invite a little bit of a tilt, a tipping over to our right. Inhale, bringing ourselves back up, allowing both sits bones to remain stable and rooted as we reach up and over to the other side. Inhaling our way back up. And as we exhale, we're going to twist from our navel center and above. So if you look at your knees, one knee doesn't draw further back than the other. They stay in line, twisting to the right. Open the arms up so they're about shoulder width height. If, of course, lifting your arms above the shoulders doesn't serve you, you can always keep them down by your hips, resting. Turning the gaze gently over that right shoulder. On your next inhale, bring those arms up if that suits you. And then exhale as we twist to the left. And again, you might open the arms. You might allow them to stretch on that horizontal plane as the gaze looks over that left shoulder. On your next inhale, bringing yourself back through center, reaching those arms up. And exhale as you press the palms away. We're going to play with bringing the backs of the palms together for a moment as they come down from the base of the spine, work their way up toward the heart, trying to bring the backs of the arms together. And then once the elbows get about heart height, you're going to roll the palms in toward each other. And then keep reaching up as much as you will allow until the elbows will need to part, and then continue to reach those arms up, part them, and then bring them back down by your side. And then just try that a few times, bringing the backs of the palms together first, backs of the forearms, then rolling them to the inside, reaching them up, And pressing them away. Maybe try that one more time. Finding connection with your breath. Beautiful. And once we allow the arms to come down by the side, let them just rest by your thighs or your hips. And then inhale, bring those shoulders up. Exhale, let them drop with gravity. And just try that a few times. Inhale. Exhale. Ha. Inhale. You can let it out through the mouth if you like. Ha. 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 Beautiful. One more. Ha. And then from here, we're going to bring those arms out about shoulder width distance. Roll one shoulder in as the other one rolls back. And just do that a few times, like you're wringing out any tension in the shoulders, in the chest, like you're turning a giant doorknob. Keep breathing. And then just do one more set. Bring the arms out nice and wide. And then interweave the fingers together behind the back of the skull. Let the head fall back into that hammock of the palms. Let the elbows wide and root down into those feet. Lift your heart, lift your sternum. Nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, moving the chin toward the chest, let the elbows fold in without pulling your head. Take another breath here. And as we exhale, let the arms just melt down by your side. And you can use your hands to help support the chair here. And from this place, we're going to extend our right leg. Think about as the heel reaches away, the thigh bone is hugging in toward that hip socket. The navel center is drawing in. Maybe you point or flex through the foot, roll through the ankle. And as you're doing this, make sure that you haven't collapsed into that lumbar spine. So if that's happening, just lower the leg where you can still find that natural length in the spine. You can also test your balance here. And then we'll lower that right leg and try it on the other side. So the left leg will lift wherever you can allow while keeping with the natural curves of your spine, that uprightness. Heel reaches away as the thigh bone hugs into the socket. Your core is active here. We're breathing. We're smile asanaing. So lift the corner edges of your mouth. Embrace it. One more breath, and then exhale, lower that foot down, and maybe just stamp out the feet for a moment. We're going to get our core nice and warm in just a moment. It'll be lots of fun. So we're going to just play with bringing the torso back just slightly. If you have room on your chair, I'm just going to pivot for a moment so you can see from a different angle. You can bring your hands to the back of the chair, sort of holding on. Wherever it kind of supports you, you might have to play around a little bit. But what we're going to do is slightly tilt the torso back, just so the shoulders are just back from the hips. And then we're going to come up onto our tiptoes. Start to draw the belly button in. Sense the belly button drawing in. There's energy and length between the tailbone and the crown. Already here, we're feeling that core engage. And you might play with lifting one leg with the knee bent, alternating the other side. You might play with lifting and holding and maybe trying both. And again, as we're doing this, we're trying not to collapse, round into that lower back, keeping with the natural curves, the length of your spine. And again, using, if you like, the chair for support. You can also test your balance. Be like, look, Ma, no hands. So just have fun with it. Breathe through it. Inhaling and exhaling. And on your next exhale, lower those legs down. And then if you like, it's like your morning coffee. We'll bring our hands to the knees and knees come in, arms cross. Little Charleston-y move. Get the right and left hemispheres of your brain working cross-laterally there. And see if you can go a little faster. Just have fun with it. Nice job. Okay, so next, just because we probably built up a little bit of tension there in those hip flexors, we're gonna work to open them up. So you're gonna shift yourself over to that right side of your seat. You wanna make sure that that left thigh and your left hip is supported on the chair, so you might have to move yourself back a little bit. The right thigh is off the chair completely. You can use your left hand to anchor into the chair. And I'm going to step my left foot back behind me. So I'm just going to angle my chair just for viewing at home in hopes that helps you see what's happening a little bit clearly. I want to try to sense my pelvis nice and level. And I'm going to just step that right foot back as far as it can go. And if I can, I'm going to extend into that back thigh so the thigh bone's reaching up toward the sky. And I'm just going to take some deep breaths here, going wherever my body will allow, just sensing that stretch in that hip flexor area all along the front of the hips there. If I feel confident, maybe I'm going to take one arm up, maybe the other one. Make sure you feel safe, grounded, pressing down into the floor to sense that lift up, scissoring those inner thighs in toward your midline, breathing, smiling. Take another deep breath here, breathing in, breathing out, and then we're going to slowly release that and bring ourselves back onto our chair. We're going to take a moment before the other side and just to swivel the legs. So let your knees just gently roll and rock right to left. And then we'll take that same strength pose on the other side. It's a version of our Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1 pose. So we'll shift to that left side of our chair. So our right thigh and right hip is anchored down. And again, that left foot is going to step back wherever the body will allow it to. So the knee may be bent. And if you feel more stable with it slightly kind of out to the side on a diagonal, allow that. If you feel like you can kind of reach it back in line with your hip, feel free to try that. Feel free to try extending into that back thigh. Again, allowing yourself to move slow, to listen. Here you want to be mindful of the tailbone rooting down, the front edge of the pelvis gathering in and up. Really sensing yourself stable, grounded, safe. If it feels right for you, maybe reaching one arm or both as we breathe. Allowing the heart to lift, finding length. Allowing the shoulders to anchor into their sockets. Maybe roll out your wrists for a moment. Take another nice deep breath in, feeling that press down, that reach up. And then as we're finding that next exhale, we're going to release out of the stretch and bring ourselves back to our chairs. And once more, maybe coming toward slightly the edge of our chairs and just sort of let the legs windshield wiper side to side. And now we're going to make our way up to standing. We're going to do our stand-ups. It's like sit-ups, but stand-ups. And this is good for, strengthening in your legs, your core, preventing falls, so fall prevention. So what you're going to do is bring yourself to the edge of your chair. And again, just for better viewing, I'm going to pivot myself on the chair. And you're going to have your feet firmly planted. And you want to tilt the torso forward. You want to ground into the heels into the ball mounds of the feet. So I'm going to bring my feet back a little bit further because I notice as I shift forward, I don't feel fully connected there. So you might have to adjust for you. And the thing I want to avoid is sort of a collapsing in the spine. So I want to keep with the length of my spine, drawing the chin toward the notch of the throat. So as I inhale, I'm stamping into my feet. I'm slowly rising, sensing the spine stay in alignment with itself, and then bringing my ears above my shoulders, shoulders above my hips. And then I'm going to do that same thing coming back down. So if you like, you can reach back for your chair before you sit. Thing to try to avoid here, and I do this a little bit, is as I sit back, my chin kind of lifts. So you want to try to sense that sitting while keeping with all those natural alignments as best as you can. If you want to challenge yourself, we're going to take it 10 times. You can push off the chair, push off your thighs. You can also cross your hands or swing the arms. So this is your home practice. Make it your own. So I'm going to cross my arms for today. So we're going to inhale as we rise all the way up. Exhale as we lower down nice and slow. Pressing down to rise up. And as you lower your hips back down, think about a zipper moving up from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown. So as our body descends energetically, we're lifting up. And just keep going. We're going to do 10 of them, breathing at your own pace. Again, you might swing the arms if you like. Or push off the chair. Check out your knees. Make sure they're tracking over your second and third toe as you rise and lower. And of course, as I'm talking, I'm not keeping track of the amount of times we've done this. I always forget that. So let's just try for 2 more. And then let's inhale, rise all the way up, coming into that Tadasana mountain pose. If you like, extend the arms up overhead, or you can have them resting by your side, bringing your hands to the little knobs of your hips, and check out to make sure your ankles line up with that to find your hip width distance. And then just sense yourself standing nice and tall, feet pressing down, crown lifting. Take a nice deep breath in as you open your arms out about shoulder width, and then just wrap those arms over your chest, giving yourself a hug. Maybe chin falls toward your chest. And then tracing your fingers for as long as your body will allow down your arms toward your elbows as you lift the elbows up like you're peeling off a layer, something in excess that you don't need. So just strip off that layer. Reach those arms up, let it go, and let the arms float down by your side. Again, you might just kind of walk out your feet for a moment, roll out those wrists. Nice work. So what we're going to do for a moment is position ourselves to face our chairs. And we're going to go into a version here of downward facing dog. So what you want to do is bring your hands to the chair, maybe to the wider edge of the chair. And you want to have your feet about hip width or maybe even wider than hip width, so further out from your midline. And then you can start to walk the feet back. And the thing here is if we have tight hamstrings and you sense a rounding in your spine, then you might want to have the feet in a little closer and bend your knees a little deeper. You want to try to sense that the spine again stays in its natural alignment, nice and long. So see if you can start to walk those feet back, grounding into the heels. If the heels lift, bend those knees. Maybe the head remains lifted here. If you don't have sort of headache today or glaucoma, then you're allowed to allow the head to move down lower than the heart or lower than your shoulders. Again, still having that idea that the tailbone is reaching back and up, the thigh bones are moving back, the feet are pressing down. Maybe you invite a little bit of a sway here. You might be able to let the head go completely if that supports you. And just find some nice deep breaths. Then from this place, we'll stamp into our feet, draw the navel center in, start to push down into our hands to walk our feet back in toward the chair, slowly bringing ourselves all the way back upright to standing. Once we get upright, let's just bring those arms up and overhead, and then maybe interleave our palms, flip the heels of the palms up toward the sky, stamping into both feet as we stretch up and over toward that right side. Inhale ourselves back up and exhaling as we move over to that left side. Inhale as we move back up. And this time as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands to the sacrum area where the fingers are facing down. The elbows are moving in, the shoulders are rolling back and down. From here, we're gonna engage the buttocks, send the pelvis forward, lift the heart. Imagine like a hook on the sternum, lifting it up as you open your heart up and back. Maybe the gaze lifts, maybe you keep the chin drawn in toward the notch of the throat. Just moving yourself gently into a back bend that supports you without compressing the lumbar spine. Take another breath. And as we exhale, we'll bring ourselves back upright and just roll out those wrists. Nice work. So we're going to go into a restorative pose next. And this can be done at home with your chair or a couch. And what I'm going to do is just demonstrate it, and then you're welcome to try it out. If it doesn't serve you for this restorative relaxation time of this practice, then you're welcome to just come back to sitting in the chair. So you can line up your shoulder next to the chair and your hip with your legs out to the side, and then scoot yourself in close to the chair. And then I'm going to pivot my legs up to the seat of the chair and roll my spine down on the ground. I'm going to let the weight of my head just rest, my shoulders open, my legs feel supported. For me, it feels good to bring my ankles closer together and my knees open apart, and that's a nice passive placement for the psoas, letting the weight of the thighs just drop into the sockets. So whether you're choosing to move down to the ground or bring yourself to a seated position in your chair, just take a moment to decide where you want to be for this time of rest, this time of rejuvenation. And then just take a few moments to arrive there. Come back to your breath. Remembering that each inhale opens us up to this experience as it is, invites us to this present moment. Each exhale invites in space, lets go of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Notice as your body becomes heavier. Notice as the muscles start to soften. Sense yourself supported. Inviting back in that mantra, I am grounded. Sense yourself held and supported, connected to the earth. I am safe. Sense that all your needs are met. You are safe. You are sheltered. You are nourished. I am here. Continue to arrive into this present moment as it is with an open heart. I belong here. Sense yourself belonging to this world, to this community, just as you are. That there's nothing you need to do. Your being is enough. Notice the eyelids becoming heavier, the jaw softening. Notice all the wrinkles of life experience melting away. Allowing this to be a restart, this place of stillness, this place of rest. I am grounded. I am safe. I am here. And I belong here. And from this place, start to once more deepen the breath. Gradually letting the lungs expand as you draw a breath in. And as you exhale, gradually squeezing the abdominals, squeezing out any excess air, relaxing to breathe in again. So breath can go where it's needed in the body. Sipping in as much air as your body will allow before exhaling nice and slow. Before moving on from this place, once more, invite in a sense of gratitude, thanking yourself for this time, for this devotion. Each time you set aside time to nourish the self, you are telling yourself that you are worthy. And taking as much time as you need to slowly withdraw from this practice. If you're lying on the ground, you might invite some gentle head rolls or stretch the arms overhead. Just listen to what your body may call for as a way of wakening back up. And even if you're sitting in the chair, maybe you gently move the head or roll the shoulders. Again, there's no right or wrong way to slowly come out of this restful place. Try not to overthink it or judge. Just move without thinking if you can. And then if you are lying down, you might just roll to one side before bringing yourself into an upright, supported posture. Wherever you are, we'll just bring attention to the heart space. Maybe bring the palms to Anjali Mudra, that gesture of reverence. Bowing our head to the heart, allowing the heart to guide us. Allowing us to bow in reverence of the wisdom of the heart, that seat of unconditional being, unconditional love, understanding, unlimited potential. And I thank you for practicing along with me. And namaste. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day.